Are you curious how much money there is to be made for motivational speakers and professional speakers? Well, stay tuned because today I'm going to show you how we make our money, how much you can make, and where to get started. Hi, I'm Amy Walker, small business strategist, speaker, and author, and thank you for watching the CEO Spot. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell notification because I release new content every Monday through Friday designed to help you grow your business and also create more balance in your life. And today, I wanted to answer some questions about professional speaking. So we're going to talk about how we make our money, how much you can make, the different levels of speakers, and also what you should do if you are wanting to increase the amount that you are getting paid to speak. So let's get started with how professional speakers and motivational speakers make our money. There are a couple different ways. Number one is the speaker fee. This is the amount that you get paid to deliver your speech. The second is your product sales. These are your books, your CDs, your audio programs that you sell at the back of the room. And then the third is your business services. So there's three different ways that you earn money. Two schools of thoughts in this. There are people who they love the stage. Like they're the performer. They have dreamed of being a motivational speaker their whole lives. It's what fuels them and gets them out of bed. And they love, love, love the stage. And those types of speakers tend to be the ones that they'd rather get the speaker fee. For me, personally, I am more the type of speaker that the stage for me, I do like, and I would say I love speaking. I really enjoy the process, but for me, it's always been part of a bigger game plan. So for me, speaking is to acquire new clients. And that's really why I've done it, to get my message out there, to market myself. It's been more of instead of it being the destination, it's been a step along my way to my destination. So for me, I usually make more money if I speak to sell and enroll people into my programs. And so I've been happy to be a speak to sell speaker. And there really are hybrids where some people do both. They get the speaker fee and then they speak to sell. Some people are just doing the speaker fee. Some people are just doing speak to sell. And then there's new opportunities that are popping up that are pay to play, where you actually pay to be on a stage and then a promoter uses that money to fill the room and then you get to speak to sell. So those are some different options for you as a speaker. I do think it's important to know what your destination is. Like, what's your end goal? Are you wanting to be somebody who gets paid to be on stage? Or are you wanting to be somebody who has a lot of clients and uses the stage as a tool to acquire them? What does that look like for you? Now let's talk about the different levels of speakers and how much they make. So starting out, you have a new speaker. New speakers speak generally for free. They're establishing still their platform. They're still establishing their message. They're still testing out their material. They're still cutting their teeth. Now, I know that there are some really good new speakers, and maybe you've had a lot of experience speaking in church, or maybe you've spoken a lot for work, or maybe you've spoken a lot in other places, and you already have the skill of being able to share a message. That's great. You still, though, need to practice your speeches and fine tune your craft and get clear on your brand and your message. And so speaking for free, I just consider it dress rehearsals. Like, it's your practice, because you don't want to go in, get paid the big speaking gig, and you're not ready for it. And you do a bad job, because meeting planners talk to other meeting planners. And so if you go in for the big gig and you're not ready for it and you do a bad job, people do talk, and you will have a harder time getting booked moving forward. So I do recommend that as a new speaker, you spend some time practicing, fine-tuning your craft. It does not mean you have to be speaking for free and not earning money. It just means that you're using it as a tool to acquire clients, and you're getting your money from product sales and from client acquisition. And that's where your paycheck is coming from. Now, Everybody has to take their time. They have to practice. They have to get good. I get that. But new speakers, it doesn't mean that you can't charge anything. It means I think you should do your first few gigs for free, and then you can get started with charging as soon as you've like hit your stride and you have a good message. A lot of times as a new speaker, you know, when you don't have a long history of where you've spoken for, you can still get $250, $500, $750. So I would say a new speaker, you're going to be earning anywhere between free to $1,000, and that's going to come through a mixture of your sales and also through some smaller speaking fees until you are establishing what you need to go after some bigger gigs. Okay, next let's talk about the first tier of paid speakers. This you're going to be earning anywhere between $1,000 to $2,500, and there are a lot of gigs that pay this type of amount. A lot of association meetings, a lot of industry conferences, a lot of businesses paying someone to come in and teach and train their people. This is kind of a common range, and there's a lot of volume of gigs out there in that price point. There's also a lot of people going for them. So my recommendation is don't stay in this space for very long, because when I see someone who's speaking for that amount, I kind of feel like they're an emerging speaker. I don't feel like they're a real established speaker. And I think that the difference between this price level and the one above is just purely confidence. So my recommendation is don't stay in this space long, because yes, there are a lot of gigs, but yes, there's a lot of people applying for them. And so the competition is pretty fierce. I would position yourself at the next level, which is going to be between about $2,500 to $5,000. Now, you can make a pretty good income on this, because that's for, I mean, think about it. A lot of the places that are booking you to speak, they're booking you for 30 minutes, an hour, maybe 2. There's not very many 4-hour gigs anymore. And so that range of like $2,500 to $5,000, you can make a pretty solid income that way, especially if you're matching it with also having programs and products for people to buy into. This level I feel like is a good level for a professional to be at. And the next level above that is where I think most of us really want to move to. And so that is going to be your higher level speaker. So this speaker is going to be charging between probably about $5,000 to $15,000. These are kind of the full-time professionals. Like, speaking is their jam. It is what they do. They do it on a regular, consistent basis. They're really good. They're a lot of times going to be hired as like the keynote speaker or the headliner, or they're going to close out the event so they get the good spots on the lineup. A couple of things that distinguish this level, I have noticed that this level speaker tends to have better branding. They tend to have a better speaker highlight reel. A lot of times they'll have what's called a sizzle reel, which plays before they come on stage. And then they've got the speaker reel that they send to the meeting planners. They've got good deliverables that make them look tight, so that when someone comes to look at them, there's a lot of collateral there to show that they are a true professional. They'll have highlight videos of them speaking at other places. They'll have testimonial videos. So this phase, I do think you have to prepare yourself to look like somebody that's worth spending $10,000 on for a 60-minute keynote speech. I think you got to put in the work to be able to show that you belong at that level. Okay, now we have the top tier of professional speakers that are not yet celebrities, okay? So the top tier of professional speakers are going to be earning between about $15,000 to $50,000. So this top tier are going to be the people that are at like that highest level in NSA. They are, a lot of times they're C-level executives, like they're CEOs of big companies, or they're really great performers, or they're really amazing on stage, or they've been in the business for a long time, and they've got a great corporate resume. Sometimes it's because they hit something and it just propelled them forward. Like they had a TED Talk that went viral, or they had a book that blew up on the New York Times bestsellers. But these are people who they get booked real consistently. Now, I do think that between the level that we just discussed and this highest level of professional speaker, I do think that there's a bit of like catching your break. There's a lot of times there's kind of a defining moment that propels them up to the next level. They definitely paid their dues. They definitely have to go after and ask for that bigger level speaking gig, and they just relentlessly pursue it. And then it seems like for most of them, and I'm not at this level, but from an outside observer, it seems like for most of them, there's something that happens. Like for Rachel Hollis, her book just blew up, right? Like she had been paying her dues and working hard for a long time and running a strong, consistent business. And then her book just kind of opened up the doors, and then the floodgates opened, and now she's one of the highest paid speakers. For Brene Brown, it was her TEDx talk that was just really picking up steam, that then opened up a lot of doors for her to elevate to that next level. So I do think that's where you keep your eye on, and you work real consistently in that layer right below until the moment happens and it opens up that door for you to go to the next one. But I don't think people just fall into that top level tier. I don't think it just magically happens for very many people. Okay, now beyond that, you have your celebrity speakers. So the celebrity speakers, they can close anywhere between 50,000 to like $1 million. These are your politicians, they're your performers, they're your Olympic athletes and professional athletes. They are your models and actresses and musicians. And then some people who are like the top speakers, like your Tony Robbins and your Les Brown, and some of these people that just, they have become celebrities in their own right because of what they've done in the speaking space. So there you have it. That's kind of the breakdown of how much professional speakers make. Now, what should you do to get started getting paid more? The number one thing you do is, I think, really craft your skill as a speaker. Deliver better speeches. Practice more. When you stop speaking or slow down or you're not speaking very often, you do get rusty. I, for the last year, haven't done a lot of speaking gigs because I've been doing other things and focusing on other things. And so I know that when I go back in my next speaking gig, I'm gonna have to practice more than I would have a year ago, because I've got to get that skill tight and I've got to get ready for the people. So I'll have to practice more when I do my next speaking gig. When you are consistent with speaking, you're gonna get better every single time. So that's number one, is really craft your skill. The second thing is you got to get really good at marketing yourself. You need to know how to find the gigs, you need to know how to reach out, or you need to get somebody who's booking you. But you've got to get a plan in place to market yourself if you really want to be that professional speaker. All right, I hope this was helpful for you. If you've got your eye on speaking, it is a fun profession. I really love going to events and meeting people and speaking to crowds. It is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. So I would love for you to leave me a comment and let me know what your goal is as a speaker so that I can support you in that. Also, please like the video, and if you haven't done it yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of a private community of entrepreneurs, please join our private Facebook community, the CEO Spot. It's a place where you can ask questions and get connected with other entrepreneurs and just kind of stay connected in between videos that we do here on YouTube. So that, my friends, is it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks, everyone.